Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a little book chat today. A book that I am just obsessed with. I mean, you already know from the title, obviously. So the book in question is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I just read this in the end of November, and I read it in about a day. I think over 2 days, but like the first day I didn't read that much, and then the second day I read about 3/4 of it. So it's a super quick read. It's a YA contemporary, and if you have not heard of it, basically we are following our main character, Justice. He grew up in, low-income neighborhood where he was surrounded by other black kids, black families, etc. And then when he got to high school, he goes to a private school. It's like a boarding school. He stays at the school in his dorm. And he is one of, a couple black students at the school. It's predominantly white. And so it's just his experience with that and events that ensue. I don't want to give away too much. We start off, it's in the description and on the back and everything, where he has an incident with a police officer who assumes that he is doing something wrong when he is not at all. Clearly just a prejudice thing, and that kind of ignites him to start writing letters to Martin Luther King Jr., hence the Dear Martin. It's him trying to be more like Martin, and kind of working out his feelings on various things that happen in his life. Well, I gave this book five Pushinicorns. Easy, no questions. On my 1 to 10 scale, I can't remember exactly, but it was like a 9.7 or something like that. I love this book. I love this book a lot. I got emotional while reading this book. There was a certain point in the book where I was actually crying. The whole last 25% of it, I think I was there was a moment where I was crying, oh my God. And then the last quarter of it was just emotional and I was choked up. And then 15, 20 minutes after I finished the book, I was still just really choked up. And I'm going to try really hard not to get choked up while talking about it. I genuinely just really care about these issues of racism, social injustice. I care a lot about it. The last however many years, there's just been so many things coming to light. And I'm grateful that we now have the technology that we have, which is, I think, why a lot of these instances of racial injustices have been brought to light, because people are able to videotape it and put it online now. And as terrible as it is to see some of these things, I think you have to. I remember, I'm gonna get choked up. I remember the Philando Castile situation and case. I'm getting choked up, sorry. That video was incredibly difficult to watch. And I knew some people who were like, I don't want to watch it. And I get it if violence like that is somehow triggering or something. But I just feel like it's important to attempt to watch it. It was hard. And any of these videos are difficult. That one for me was especially difficult for some reason. And please, another disclaimer here, do not mistake me for someone who just hates all cops. That is absolutely not the case. So just don't even comment that if you feel like it. That Philando Castile video was very difficult. It sucked to watch. It was hard. It was emotional, but I think it's important that people watch stuff like that. And I think it's important that people read stuff like this. And it freaking infuriates me. I saw Angie Thomas comment on Twitter that The Hate U Give has been banned in some school district in Texas, and I just can't. I can't. Oh my God. But okay, anyway, back to this particular book. I'm sorry, this is gonna be the longest video ever, probably. I just think it's very important. And this book was very emotional. Again, I don't want to come across like some white savior, and I don't want to make this all about me by any means. I'm going to link below in my comment some people of color who have reviewed this book and their videos talking about this book as well. Because I think that's an important part of, if you want to genuinely be an ally, you want to genuinely be an advocate, is to amplify their voices. And I don't think I've ever explicitly said this on my channel. My boyfriend has been briefly in one of my vlog videos, I think. I don't know if he's been in any other ones. But at any rate, my boyfriend happens to be black, and I guess it just strikes a chord for me. I've always cared about these issues, and it's not like, oh, I never understood it until I started dating a black guy. Like, that's not the case. But it does give me a little bit more intimate understanding because, and I don't want to say how he feels about anything because that's his choice to vocalize to the world or not. But I definitely, while reading this, felt like I've heard him say some of the sentiments in this book. I've heard him express difficulty with these things. If you like Dear Martin and you're looking for more nonfiction to read, I definitely suggest Invisible Man Got the Whole World Watching. It's very similar as far as the themes, being a black man in America and kind of reconciling what that means and what that means for how you can move about in the world, what people are going to say about you, and especially if you fit in white America, and what that means to fit in and what that means for you as a person in your own culture, and just so many things. And this book touched on all of this, like, so well. Also touched on interracial relationships. There is a love interest or romantic interest of our main character, who is a white girl, and I don't want to spoil stuff, but there's the interracial dating thing, and we are very, very lucky in that regard that we didn't have to deal with that at all, and our friends don't have anything to say about it or anything. So that's very good. But we have had comments from other people, and I'm sure there's been people in my life, Facebook friends that I went to school with and stuff, that probably have comments about it, but they've never said it to me. But it's mostly random strangers, and it hasn't happened a ton, but it has happened a couple times. Basically, my point is this book touched on all of these things, and I think it did it very well. Nick Stone did an amazing job of touching on all of these things and kind of showing both sides. Everything said in here is an important aspect of the conversation of racism in America. And I just really hope that by the time I have children, that there's some drastic improvement, because I don't want to have to worry about this shit. I just don't. And nobody should. Nobody should have to worry about this. And I'm going to get emotional again. It's just so fucking stupid. It upsets me that I have to worry about him. It upsets me that anybody has to worry about this. And I hate that I have to worry about him. And yeah, there's a lot of cops out there who aren't like this, and that's totally fine. But the fucking problem is that if there is a cop who is in this position of power and authority, and they think this way, and they have these prejudices and these stereotypes in their head, they have a fucking gun and they can kill somebody and then not be held accountable for it more often than not. And I'm sorry if you disagree. I don't care. That's so crazy to me, because you see officers that do it. You see officers that do handle it well. And it's why can't everybody do it like that? But it's because they're not giving them enough training. They're not giving them enough screening to determine yeah, you don't quite have the right mentality for this job. Let's give you appropriate training, and then give you appropriate training on how to handle these tense situations that you might get into. And to not have a knee-jerk reaction of shooting a little fucking kid who's playing with toy guns on a playground. Maybe. I don't know. Could we do that, perhaps? Anyway, my point is, I hate that I have to worry about him, that he's going to come across one of these types of officers at some point. And it's fucking scary. It's really scary. And yeah, I just think everybody should read this book, and it should be taught everywhere, and I'm sure I'm going to feel the same way about The Hate U Give when I read that. Yeah, I could go on. I've gone on long enough. I'm probably going to get, I don't know, my channel isn't that big where I probably won't get that many comments about it in a negative way. Maybe I'll get a couple. Again, my disclaimer, if you've watched this whole video, you should understand what I'm saying, but I am not saying that I think all freaking police officers are terrible. I'm just saying it's a very dangerous thing. All right, I don't even know how to end this. Read Dear Martin if you haven't already, and read more books like this. Again, like I said, if you read this and you liked it and you want to read some nonfiction that's kind of related, I highly, highly recommend Invisible Man Got the Whole World Watching. I also highly recommend the new Jim Crow. It's hefty. It's more like text. It's like a textbook read, but it's so good. Yeah, easy 5 stars. Read the damn book. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry for my ranting. Again, I will be posting in the comment section or in the description down below people of color who have reviewed this book. Go check out their reviews. They have a much more personal experience with it than I do. So please go check them out. And yeah, have a great day, guys. I'm gonna try to woosah now because I've gotten myself all worked up. And yeah, have a great day. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.